Welcome to this 2-week micro series called Category of One Exposed. Now, today we are kicking off with the most incredible female entrepreneur who I met back in November over in Florida. And every single one of these lives that I'm going to be doing this week and next are all centered around the frustrations of women who are unbelievably genius, unbelievably gifted, but don't feel that depth and genius is coming along across online. And we're going to be talking around the exact moment that their most category of one genius and transformation got exposed, or the very moment that they went through a huge shift in their up, because this is try number 2, so we had some technical issues before. I'm just trying to bring up Ania. We did it!
Hi.
So relieved. Hi, gorgeous. How are you?
It took 2 times. It's all good.
I didn't even get to do your. It's Ania Volvoik. There we go. You said do it in a more of a French accent, so that was my go at. I am so excited to be kicking off this series with you, by the way, because I feel like I've not seen you for forever. But let's get into this amazing exposed session today. So the first place that I want to start with you, Ania, is really talking to the moment before we met and where you were feeling frustrated or how it was showing up for you that your depth, your genius wasn't something that you could easily articulate. Because I know you've been in several masterminds, worked with incredible mentors, but there was still that, it just wasn't hitting. So can you talk to that and that whole situation, and then we'll go on to what shifted?
Yeah. Well, the main thing was that I was putting myself in the box of calling myself a photographer. Because to me, it felt so clear. Like if somebody's asking me what I do and I say I'm a photographer, they can clearly picture what that means and put me in a box as well. And that's what we do as human beings. And over 10 years, I tried to explain what I do because there was so much depth that happens during my sessions that goes way beyond photography. So yes, it's under the umbrella of a photo shoot, but people were having, life-changing experiences and spiritual awakenings through a few hours with me. And it felt like there's a dissonance of how I'm presenting myself and how people are perceiving me versus the more of the expansion that actually occurs during the sessions with me.
I love that you brought that bit up where you said you were getting these life-changing transformations with clients, because this happens with every single deeply gifted woman like yourself, where they're not just getting good transformations, they're not just getting great transformations with their clients, they're literally changing their life, they're literally changing the trajectory of their life, of their business, of their impact. Would you just talk a little bit to that? Because I'd love to share that with the audience on the types of, because you were taking photos, but you were doing way more than that. So can you talk around the other nuanced bits that you were doing and how that was then transpiring into these literal identity altering, life altering, business altering moments for them? Because I love this shit.
Well, what would happen is I would start channeling during the sessions, and this force would come through me, and information that I had no knowledge of would come through, and I would give ideas that would be disguised as content ideas. But in actuality, what I was doing is I was opening the door to a new reality. So I was seeing the prophecy that's available because there's so many different realities that we all are living in, and we can choose which reality we want to embody. So during the session itself, I was opening the door to a new reality where she was able to step into and recognize a new version of herself. And then it was up to each woman individually to choose to continue to embody that version or choose to go back to where she was. And the ones who chose to embody it created amazing, epic, like out of this world results that are still not even comprehensive of to like how did that happen, that one photo shoot or one session with us co-creating together this thing came through and her entire life has changed and she started seeing herself and started seeing her business through a different lens.
Because you did an exercise with a woman when you were working with her where she was speaking in front of like a lot, like in front of an audience, and then that literally became the prophecy. And I've seen her speak because I remember that really clearly. And other bits that I remember. So in fact, let's jump to the next bit. So we worked together over so many weeks, but there was a moment, there was a session in particular where I went really deep with you into, it was probably one of the private ones, right? Where I went really deep with you into actually what you did with your clients. And we're talking about it now, like articulating it like, normally now, because this is now what we know you do. But it was pulling out these micro specific codes of your genius, of your gifts, of how you did what you did. And I remember it was like, I get too excited during these sessions anyway, because the wilder, the crazier, the more explainable, the more magic, I get more excited because I'm like, this is so category of one, let's keep going here. But can you talk about when you finally felt like you'd come home to be not able to articulate, I think in your words you say like the essence of what you do and what makes it so rare, because there's such special moments when someone like yourself gets exposed, as I call it now.
Yeah. And I love the fact that you're calling this experience exposed because really that's what it is. And I even had a podcast that I started a year and a half ago called Exposed.
Oh, I love it.
Because that's a big part of what I do during my sessions too. We're exposing a new version of reality, a new identity that you get to embody. And what I think was so powerful with our work together and what you're so good at is dissecting the magic in the ordinary. Because to me personally, and I know so many of my clients and so many of our colleagues, we are looking at our work, we're so used to it that we take it for granted. And it's just like, it's second nature. It's like breathing. You can't necessarily explain how exactly your lungs work. No, you wake up and you continue breathing. So my work was so second nature to me, and the transformation that I was guiding my clients through was just so natural that I wasn't giving it enough power. And I was dismissing it. And that's why mentorship is so powerful, that even though I've had mentors before, because we had such a short and dense container together, we were able to go really deep, really fast. And you were able to reflect back to me exactly what I was doing. And I was able to actually see that it is powerful and that it's not just like what everybody else is doing. No, what I'm doing is unique to me. And the more that I own that and the more that I embody my power, the more that will be felt, where I no longer need to explain what it is that I do or give a 20-step process of my process. No, it's felt. And that's what we all get to connect with. It's our own internal power, which then gets transferred out to the people that are meant to be on our path.
You can tell I kicked off this series with Ania, by the way, because like, hello. and I love that you've mentioned as well, like it's like breathing to me, it's normal to me. I thought everyone could do it. The amount of times I'm working with a founder and she says, really, is that like they're channeling stuff, like really, can't everyone do that? And I'm like, no, absolutely not. And what's really interesting is, although a large amount of people might have psychic abilities or might be able to channel, the difference is for each human, each woman, and like for example with Anya, is it's the category of one through line, the obsession that she is looking at, this through line that means when she's channeling towards this particular transformation for the client that she's working with. If it was someone who was an ad specialist that could channel, energy into the language, she'd be doing it for the conversions, for being able to bring in soul line clients. Like every single one of you, whether you realize it or not, has a category of one transformation, like this obsession that you are, that everything you do, all your gifts, all your skills, all your genius is just when you channel that into that end game, that's when the transformations with your clients just go on another, like, they're already incredible. They just go up another 10 notches. Would you, so this is why this conversation is just so epic. Would you talk to what shifted? So we realized you're actually a brand oracle. We realized you literally help women in these sessions, that you're actually helping them connect at a soul level so they can connect at a soul level to the ones who their work is actually for, like, and so much more. Like, you can, for any of you listening to this, go check out Ania's bio, read that, feel those words. She's got, like, one of her offers is called prophecy. Like, hello, it's just so dreamy. And I remember we straight away started shifting the offers, the price point, the client, the grid. So can you talk to that? Because everyone wants to talk about positioning at the moment, right? So can you talk to the biggest realizations that you had as we were shifting that?
Mm-hmm. And positioning externally is really coming back again. It's all internal work, right? Even owning the name, the brand oracle, it's been a few months, but there has been so many like sticky points. So even though there was like this aha moment and this realization and this recognition of my own gifts and my own talents and my own uniqueness and category of one, there was still internal work that the human self needed to catch up to that. Oh, holy shit, this is what I actually do. And owning the transformation that I provide for other people. So it's more of the internal positioning of like, how do I choose to see myself and what actions am I taking now that I'm claiming this role? So it's taking all of the like perceptions and all of the distortions of the online space and the noise really of the online space, because there's so many different opinions, there's so many different strategies, but ultimately it's dissolving all of that, it's releasing all of the layers and coming back to the truth of who you are. So the internal work, and one of my deep beliefs is that our business is our deepest spiritual assignment.
Yeah, agreed.
So every single thing, including owning the brand oracle and this offer that is so amazing and so powerful, prophecy, where you literally step into your own self-fulfilling prophecy. The deeper work had to be within myself. How am I positioning myself? And how are my actions and my thoughts, more than anything, reflective of this vision and this possibility? And am I choosing to be the self-fulfilling prophecy that is of the highest timeline? Or am I still kind of wavering and, holding on to the belief of like, oh, it's safer to be just a photographer because people understand it. So, and I think safety in general, that's where I think a lot of people kind of struggle to claim the bigness of their power. And that's related to positioning too and influence, because it's dangerous on an internal level.
We're tribal beings. We are not supposed to be category of ones. We're supposed to be like safe and accepted and liked, because it's literally baked into it. So I love that you've brought that up. And I have to say, there is not yet someone who I've not that I've done this work with that hasn't gone through one of the most seismic identity shifts, because it literally triggers every single part of you that just wants to remain safe and palatable and marketable, and nothing about the work that you do is safe and palatable and marketable, because it's freaking magic. It's in like prophecy work. So yeah, I love that you've brought that up as well because that is a huge thing. Huge thing. So I remember when we were re-engineering the outward expression of your work through the offer prophecy, through the clients that your work was actually born for as well. Because this is the other thing, when someone shifts from like photographer to brand oracle, the client, although you'd worked with actually exceptional clients, but the client that you then realize is the perfect person through and through for your work often goes through a seismic shift as well. Like I say, although you'd already worked with incredible clients, I remember that lens shifted as well. So I remember it was the offer, it was the investment, it was the client. So can you just talk through that? Like how that actually felt is the question that I actually want to ask you.
It was another wobble, I would say, because it was the mind understood it, like it made sense of everything that was uncovered because there was truth in that. So there was resonance. But then the human self, who still has the fears and the what ifs, was still coming up. And the really successful clients that I've worked with in the past, it was before social media even was as active as it is now. I've been in business for a long time. And it was mainly through in-person connections. So in person, there is this wall that's broken through because intimacy gets created much faster versus now that we're using social media the majority of the time. So for me, it was breaking through the barrier of how do I claim this role and the power that I hold through the screen. And I noticed, and when we went through copywriting and some previous posts, the disconnect was that I was still speaking to someone who was not fully claiming their power. So of course, like everything is a mirror, everything is a reflection. I wasn't fully claiming my power, so then naturally I was speaking to the women who were not yet fully claiming their power. So my work had to be, how do I bridge that gap of feeling the power when I meet someone in person or like in-person connections, networking, all of that, and having that power meets power, and then translating that into language online. So I'm not speaking down at anyone, but then at the same time, I'm not putting anyone on the pedestal. So there's not of this hierarchy of like somebody is below or somebody is ahead. So I had to take away the money conversation altogether from the equation,
Yeah.
where it wasn't about how much money somebody is making or how many years she's even been in business, but focusing more on values. So I'm speaking to the characteristics of the woman that I know I can support and not hold her on a pedestal and not hold her hand or like, come, I'll tell you everything, because that's also been a pattern of trying to, carry someone who is not willing to put in the work herself and then taking responsibility for somebody else's actions. So it was shifting that reflection of like, okay, if I'm owning my power and if I'm taking personal responsibility for my results, for my success, I get to also see other women capable of doing that as well. So it was shifting the language and releasing, again, with the internet, with social media and other mentors are talking about, and not having any hierarchy and speaking to the soul of the woman that I want to attract and I know I can support.
Oh, I love this. This is the thing, guys. Just check like characteristics all day long because there could be someone at below six figures who knows she is meant to impact millions in her lifetime. She would be ripe for category of one work. The same thing, a woman who's already at seven, eight, even nine figures would want the other evolution. So, speaking to the characteristics, love that you brought this up because this is huge. Whereas so many people get bogged down with how much are they earning, and it means nothing. Like,
Yeah,
think
I
how
mean,
we
we all
invested.
started somewhere. So it's
Yeah.
not like all of us all of a sudden started at six figures or seven figures.
No. And we've all invested crazy, even when we've been
Exactly.
earning nothing and not even landed first clients or had it like, yeah. So I love this. What would you say? So just to wrap up, what would you say to someone who knows that their work is deep? Their clients are literally saying to them, "You changed my like you're changing my life, you're changing my life." But they're feeling at that point that you were feeling, where it was like, I can't fit this into a freaking tagline. Like, I just can't articulate the brilliance of what I can even do here. And they're like tweaking their messaging, doing some other thing for like their bio for the 20 millionth time. Like, what would you say to that woman? I guess, what would you have said to yourself?
Well, this might be unorthodox and outside of what everybody else says.
We like unorthodox.
Okay, great. I would say just put down all of the beliefs, no matter if you think they're right, wrong, or who they came from. Put them down and tune into yourself. Deep down, what do you believe in? And if anything and everything was possible, what would you be doing?
Mm.
And maybe it's not even connecting to your future self, but rather connect to your inner child. Because most of us have been doing the category of one work since we were 5.
Yeah.
And then somewhere along the way, we were told that to be serious, to be an adult, to be responsible, and we put up all of these barriers. So as human beings, even though most of us work online and we're communicating through the screen, it's still human to human. It's still heart to heart, soul to soul. And your business has a soul as well. Your business has the frequency that wants to be activated through you. So when you drop all of the human conditioning and connect deeply to the mission on your heart and to the soul of your business and how it wants to be worked and expressed through you, that's when the magic happens.
Just gonna need a microphone and drop the mic after that. Yeah. Can you tell why I love Anya so much? It's like we literally have a similar through line, but we do it through two different modalities. And that's what I just freaking love about the women that I meet through this
And I
work.
think that's also like why so many women trip up because they compare, they think that their gifts are so similar. And that's what came up
Yes.
during the group program as well, because so many of us shared similar gifts. But as you said earlier, we are expressing it through our own unique way, unique pathway.
Yeah, the through line is always different and the gifts are always different. You can have similar, we'll take the channeling thing, for example. Like, so many people that I work with can channel, or they have these psychic abilities, or it might just be an intuitive knowing that they have, but it's directed in a particular way. Like, I no way do my gifts work in your world. They just don't. They work in my
And
world.
what's interesting is that the more that I express my gifts, the more gifts come online.
Yes.
So not every
Yes.
like every session doesn't look the same because every woman in front of me is not the same. So we activate her unique genius through expanding her perception of reality and remembering her inner child. So all of the little kids are unique in their own ways. So there might be a powerhouse boss babe that comes into the session, and then by the end of the day, she's running around in a tutu, remembering that she used to like lollipops or whatever.
I love this. I so need to work with you. Okay, Anya, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much for kicking off this incredible series with me. Thank you for those of you who have watched live. For those of you who are watching on the replay, please go check Anya's profile out and her incredible offer, Prophecy. I've seen the ins and outs of it. holy moly, we all like, I literally do need prophecy in my life. I will get around to it eventually.
Yes, everybody gets to
I
have
know. Well, I remember
prophecy
you
because
saying
we
to me,
get to
like,
live out our
Victoria,
own self-fulfilling prophecy.
yeah, you're like, Victoria, I need to help you on your brand. And I'm like, yes, I know you do. But listen, thank you so much. And thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you. Love
Bye
you.
bye. Love you. Bye bye.
Bye.